Yeah, so I think the attitude is very important. So I love the attitude. I'm trying to improve this paper. So I'm trying to give helpful suggestions.
The way that I try to communicate with the authors is as if I'm, mentoring them. So I really try to communicate with authors so that they know I'm there to help them. So I usually begin with a summary of what they were trying to do or what I think they're trying to do, and then a list of big idea suggestions for how they can improve their document. And then I also give like smaller, more detailed editorial feedback, like, on writing.
I usually try and open up with what I think is good, an opening paragraph, saying what I think is good, and I usually give a brief summary like that, and I say, however, I think there are 3 important issues that would need to be addressed, and then usually at the end I come back to sort of talk about what I think was good. I would just point out, here are some good things, here are some things that would have to be addressed, and here are some things that I don't think can be addressed that would preclude this from being published.
My reviews usually have a sort of general feedback section where I say what sort of large points that I was thinking as I was reading the article. And I think it's important actually that a review be your reaction in some ways. So your first read should be, how are you reacting to this piece? And then later you can go through and get more detailed. The second half of my review is often a list of bullet points of specific things that I found confusing or problematic or otherwise challenging. And if there's a revision, I'm looking to see that they have thought about these things. So if you're submitting a revised article to JLS, it's important that you write a cover letter that is detailed about how you thought about the feedback the reviewers gave you, so that when I read it again, I can quickly see what you dealt with and how you say you dealt with it.
And I know it's hard for people to be rejected. Nobody likes being rejected. I hate being rejected, and so it's not to say like, oh, people shouldn't worry about it, or, don't feel bad if you get rejected. But I do think, at least in my experience, most editors look at the relationship between the piece and the journal, and oftentimes rejection is about having a hard time seeing that relationship, not that the work isn't good.
So even if it's not going to be accepted, the author is going to learn something from the experience. It's going to be a positive experience. Hopefully that experience is going to be so good that eventually the article gets published, but maybe not this time, maybe the next article, but at least they feel they have a positive experience with the journal.
Communicating to an author a reject decision, it's just as important for that to be a learning moment and a community building moment as an accept decision. One of the great compliments that I've seen to a reviewer as the editor of the journal is an author whose paper was not accepted, but who thanks the reviewers for the help that they gave them in figuring out, how do I reposition this piece for publishing in another venue? How can I find the right venue for this work? Or what would it take for me to develop this work to a level that would get into JLS or that would get into some other place?